In a world dominated by men, a teenage girl rose to lead an army, forever changing the course of history. This is the story of Joan of Arc, a mere peasant girl, hailing from the humble village of Domrémy, nestled in the northeastern region of France. Born amidst the turmoil of the 100 Years' War, Joan's early life was far from the grandeur she'd come to know. The war was a bitter struggle, not only a conflict between the crowns of England and France, but also a civil war among the French themselves. Joan's childhood was painted with the harsh realities of this strife, shaping her into a figure of resilience and unyielding spirit. But Joan was not just an ordinary peasant girl. She claimed to have visions, divine communications from saints, instructing her to support Charles VII, the disputed heir to the French throne. The saints, she said, had a clear mandate for her, to recover France from English domination and restore her rightful king. Imagine the audacity, the sheer boldness of it all. A young, illiterate girl from a remote village claiming to have been chosen by the heavens to rescue her nation from the clutches of a powerful enemy. It would have been easy to dismiss Joan as a deluded dreamer, a girl with her head lost in the clouds. But Joan was not to be dismissed. There was something about her, an earnestness, a fiery determination that made people sit up and take notice. And notice they did. From her small village she ventured forth, her conviction leading her to the grand chambers of the royal court. And so began an unbelievable journey, one that would see this maiden warrior rise from obscurity to become a beacon of hope for a beleaguered nation. Joan's determination led her to an unbelievable journey, from a humble village to the royal court. A journey that was just beginning, a story that was far from over. Against all odds, Joan convinced the skeptical Charles VII of her divine mission. With nothing but her fiery conviction and the words of saints echoing in her ears, she journeyed to the royal court in Chinon. Imagine the audacity of a peasant girl, a mere teenager, standing in the grandeur of the royal court, demanding an audience with the Dauphin. Yet Joan's unwavering faith and her detailed knowledge of a secret prayer Charles had made to God managed to convince him of her divine calling. Now picture the siege of Orléans, a pivotal moment in the 100 Years' War. The English, confident in their fortified positions, were unprepared for the whirlwind that was Joan. She was no mere figurehead. No, Joan was in the thick of it, rallying the troops, inspiring them with her fearless determination. Her strategic brilliance led to a swift victory, breaking the siege in just 9 days. A feat that seemed impossible, achieved by a girl who had never set foot on a battlefield before. Joan's victory at Orléans was a turning point in the war. It was a crushing defeat for the English and a glimmer of hope for the French. It was the spark that ignited a series of victories, leading to the eventual coronation of Charles VII. Joan, once a simple peasant girl, now a military leader, a symbol of hope and resilience, was at the heart of it all. Throughout her rise to power, Joan remained true to her beliefs. She refused to be swayed by the politics of the court or the lure of power. Her only goal was to fulfill her divine mission, to crown Charles VII and drive the English from French soil. In the midst of war, Joan emerged as a beacon of hope, leading France to a series of victories. Her story is a testament to the power of faith and the strength of the human spirit. It's a story of a young girl who defied all odds to become a pivotal figure in history. Joan's relentless pursuit of victory culminated in the coronation of Charles VII. In the heart of the kingdom, at the Grand Cathedral of Reims, a pivotal event unfolded. This was no ordinary day. It was the day when Charles VII, with the blessing of the heavens, ascended to the throne of France. Joan, the humble shepherdess turned warrior, stood by his side, her mission accomplished. She had led a dispirited and defeated army to victory, turning the tide of the 100 Years' War and paving the way for this momentous day. Her presence at the coronation was a testament to her resolve and the faith she had inspired in her people. The coronation of Charles VII was not just the crowning of a king. It was a beacon of hope, a symbol of national unity and a morale booster for a country torn apart by war. Joan's mission was fulfilled, but her trials were far from over. In a dramatic turn of events, Joan's shining star was about to plummet. In the year of our Lord 1430, Joan was captured by the Burgundians, a group allied with the English during a skirmish at Compiègne. Her captors, valuing the worth of such a high-profile prisoner, sold her to the English for a hefty sum. Joan's capture was a devastating blow to the French. Still, it was the English who were celebrating, eager to discredit this Maid of Orléans, who had so emboldened their enemies. And so they put her on trial, not for any military crimes, but for heresy. Their goal was clear. They sought to undermine her divine mission, to paint her as a misguided, perhaps even insane young woman, who had dared to dress in men's clothing and lead an army. The trial was a farce from the start. Joan, a simple peasant girl, was pitted against a panel of learned theologians and legal scholars, all of whom were loyal to the English cause. The odds were stacked heavily against her. Yet, despite the intimidating, hostile environment, Joan held her own. She answered her accusers with an intelligence and wit that was astonishing, given her lack of formal education. She insisted that her visions were genuine, that she was guided by God, and not once did she renounce her mission. When asked why she dressed in men's clothing, Joan replied that it was necessary for her role as a soldier. When pressed further, she boldly stated, "I would rather die than revoke what God has made me do." Her courage under duress was remarkable. In the end, Joan was found guilty of heresy. She was sentenced to death, to be burned at the stake. But even in the face of such a horrific fate, Joan did not waver. She remained steadfast, her faith unshaken. Despite the shackles of captivity, Joan's spirit remained unbroken. Even as she was led to the pyre, Joan of Arc remained a beacon of courage and conviction, her light undimmed by the darkness that sought to engulf her. Joan of Arc's story did not end with her death. It was only the beginning. After her execution at the stake in 1431, the world may have thought it had seen the last of this peasant girl turned warrior. However, Joan's indomitable spirit refused to be extinguished. 25 years after her death, a posthumous retrial was sanctioned by Pope Calixtus III. The trial, known as the nullification trial, examined the charges and evidence presented against Joan during her original trial. The court found the original verdict to be deeply flawed and unjust, thereby exonerating Joan of the charges. The Maid of Orléans, as she was often referred to, was declared a martyr. But Joan's journey didn't stop there. Over the centuries, her legend grew and she became a symbol of bravery and patriotism in France. Her courage in the face of adversity, her unwavering faith, and her commitment to her country turned her into a national icon. It was not until the 20th century, nearly 500 years after her death, that Joan's story took another turn. In 1920, Joan of Arc was canonized by Pope Benedict XV, elevating her status from martyr to saint. Her canonization was the culmination of a centuries-long campaign by the French populace who venerated her. Today, Saint Joan of Arc is one of the most recognized saints in the world. Her feast day, celebrated on May 30th, is a national holiday in France. Her image graces stained glass windows in churches across the globe. She is the patron saint of soldiers and of France, a testament to her enduring legacy. From a peasant girl to a saint, Joan of Arc's life continues to inspire millions, reminding us that even in the face of adversity, one person can indeed change the world. Her tale, a story of faith, courage, and conviction, is a timeless testament to the indomitable human spirit. Joan of Arc's life was a testament to the power of faith, courage, and conviction. Born a humble peasant, she rose to command armies, driven by her unwavering belief that she was chosen by God to lead France to victory in the 100 Years' War. She was a beacon of hope, inspiring the dispirited French forces to reclaim their homeland from English domination. Her crowning achievement was the coronation of Charles VII, a pivotal moment that marked a turning point in the war. Yet, her fall was as swift as her rise. Captured by her enemies, she was put on trial and ultimately executed for heresy. But even in death, Joan's spirit remained unbroken. Her legacy lived on, inspiring generations to fight for their beliefs, no matter the cost. Canonized a saint, she became a symbol of courage, resilience, and faith. In the annals of history, Joan of Arc stands not as a mere figure, but as an embodiment of courage and resilience, a beacon of hope even in the darkest of times.